right. GM everyone to another Developers Guild. My name is Mike. I'm the developer at Solana Superteam Germany. And today we have a very exciting guest, namely Harsh Ghodkar from Sonic EVM. And he is also a Solana Superteam member, but he will also talk about Sonic SVM primarily today. And without further ado, let's invite him to the stage.
Hi, GM, folks. I'm Harsh, and let's get this thing started.
All right.
Cool, folks. So the agenda for this call would be to have more explanation around the Sonic stack, and also understanding more around like the hackathon. Right now there's a huge Sonic SVM hackathon happening right as we speak. We'll go through some coding snippets about how to get started with it. We'll deploy an AI agent on top of Sonic as well, and should be fun. So Mike, should we wait for a couple of minutes, or I can get started?
Well, maybe we can talk a bit before, but I see that we already have some people joining us. That's nice to hear all the people. We have already one question. What are the prerequisites? What?
Yeah. So the prerequisites for the hackathon are nothing. You should just have the zeal to build, some coffee, and I guess that's all. So yeah.
Yeah, what we should maybe mention is that the Sonic SVM is a huge hackathon. They have like $1 million in prizes currently.
Yeah.
And what we should also mention is that it's a very first SVM, like Solana virtual machine compatible blockchain, which is also quite nice to see in the space. And yeah, without further ado, I would say we can start off with the presentation that Harsh has provided. We will go into like a deep dive into the tech, and we will also have some hands-on coding. So we should get everything here to be successful in the hackathon. It will be nice. Exactly.
Cool.
Amazing stuff.
Sure. So, fine, folks, I have a sort of a presentation created regarding. First, we'll talk about Sonic architecture in general, so that way you can understand how different it is, what all features it provides, and then we'll talk a bit about the hackathon. And at the end, we'll go through some coding snippets, and we'll deploy an AI agent on top of Sonic. So, whilst in the call, so it would be pretty simple. It takes hardly 2 clicks to do that. So yeah.
And
So
a very hands-on experience, so very interactive. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask. We will try to answer it directly. And enjoy, guys.
yeah, cool. Fine work. So I'll get this started. So Sonic SVM, it's the first atomic SVM chain. Sonic in itself is an L2 on top of Solana. Now the general question arises that if Solana is already so fast and has so cheap fees, why would you want an L2 on top of Solana in itself? The answer comes that you would have applications like gaming, or applications which require high TPS, which also require custom block space. So if there are huge problems, like Solana has this awesome feature of local fee markets, where it doesn't have high priority fees for every single thing. Considering comparing EVM to Solana, EVM has global fee markets, so that if one huge NFT project is dropping, that would increase the fees for everyone on the network. But because of Solana's local fee market, you do not have same problems here. But there are still some issues regarding the block space. Uh, in the recent events, when there were a few meme coins getting launched and everything, there was particular points where none of the transactions would go through, because the entire blocks would just be filled around those particular coins. So those are not the type of experiences you would like to have when you have applications like gaming, where huge amount of TPS is required just for a few applications. Um, in general, we personally love gaming, and we understand capital markets are like the next big thing. And yes, capital markets are basically like tokenizing every single thing. And for that, you need custom block space for different applications. So that's where Sonic comes into the space. So yeah, let's go through it. Let's understand its architecture, and yeah, let's get started. So Sonic is the first atomic SVM chain built specifically for sovereign game economies on Solana. So what we have is a particular hypergrid framework on which you can deploy your own SVM layers on top of it, or you can build on the on the Sonic layer itself. So consider it like a huge network which is horizontally scalable, so that way what we have which at the end ultimately settles on top of Solana. So the hypergrid framework is a Cosmos based share sequencer network, which is a way through which you can have consensus between multiple chains on top. So this way hypergrid allows like a base layer where you can deploy any SVM on top of it. So Sonic in itself is deployed on top of it. You can deploy your own particular SVMs as well. So that's way you can build on top of Sonic, as well as like deploy your own grids. We call them grids. Each and every grid is one SVM layer in itself. And at any point of time, if you think I'm going too fast or if you don't understand anything, you can just pop the question in the chat, and Mike would be like reading it out and will solve it right there and there. Yeah. So basically, hypergrid allows horizontal scaling because you can have multiple different SVMs for different particular applications. Can be for games, can be for any other high TPS applications where you need custom block space. Can be for an exchange, can be for a private company, so on and so forth. So yeah, the technical architecture is basically four primary layers: Sarada, grid layer, and the hypergrid shared state network. So, and at the end, obviously, Solana, the base layer. So, yeah, I will keep on checking for the questions in the comments whatsoever. So, if you have any particular questions, you can ask it right now. We'll also have a Q&A session at the end. So, that also helps. So, let's get back to the technical architecture. The technical architecture includes Sarada. Sarada is one of my favorite things about Sonic, which is optimizing read operations for lightning fast data retrievals, which is a very fast way to read data on top of blockchain. Uh, when Solana was born, it had a huge problem around indexing data. Like there was a particular time in the early days when it was even tough to deploy a good explorer on top of Solana, because if it's such a fast architecture, you need fast reads, and that is something which we worked upon. That's an innovation which happened at Sonic, where we were able to decouple the reads from the blockchain. That way, now you can have 30 to 40 times faster blockchain reads using the using the Sonic stack. So this way, basically, Sorada helps you to have faster read operations. Then grid layers are something which is like you can semi-autonomous networks, which are basically SVMs in general. You can either deploy on the Sonic grid itself, or you can deploy your own grid. Each and every grid is an SVM execution network. So that way, either you can be having a very custom grid for your particular app chain, and that way you can have like custom tokens on it, custom gas distribution around it, and this way you can have like a very custom block space for yourself. And the question arises like, why would you need it? Can you have different gas tokens? So it basically comes around to like what your application is. Obviously you can still build on top of Sonic grid itself, but if you have more requirements, launching a grid is like some sort of a very basic process. Like right now, if you have the correct resources, you can deploy one grid in around an hour or two, and we are trying to make that process faster, such that deployment of a grid would take like a couple of clicks. But yeah, it's a long process and we'll keep on doing it. So yes, uh, That's how a grid works. And for this this is something I'm thinking about, that there are developers who are listening who would love to participate in the hackathon. And you do not have to deploy any grids for participating. It's fine, you can build applications on top of Sonic testnet, and those are all also eligible. So yeah. And hypergrid shared state network, that's the heart of the Sonic stack, which at the end manages the consensus and communication between all the grids, and at the end it settles on top of Solana base layer. So yeah, that's the basic technical architecture around it. The key innovations include like horizontal scaling, native SVM compatibility, atomic settlement, and sovereign execution. Horizontal scaling because there can be multiple grids, and they can all talk to each other thanks to HSSN. And native SVM compatibility. If you already have a Solana Rust smart contract, Solana Rust program, you can deploy the exact same code and it will work on top of Sonic as well. You do not have to do any modification. The only modification is the change of the RPC URL. Sovereign execution, you can have independent state management with grid specific optimizations. And so, as I said, that we have decoupled the read and write operations, and that increases performance like rapidly. We have like 5 millisecond reads now. So yeah, it's pretty cool. All of these are like good features which make the developer experience as well as the user experience much uh, better for everyone on top of Sonic. So yeah, Charada in itself, it's so cool that it gets its own slide. So yeah, a 30 to 40x improvement in read operations, and yeah, 5 millisecond read speed. And for all the geeks out there, we use distributed file system and H-based storage, which kind of helps to make it indexing easier. And yes, if you have such fast reads that enables in real-time gaming experiences, you can have their entire gaming experience on chain. So you can have points on chain, the skins could be on chain, and the entire database can be, just because you can deploy it, you can like send the transaction, read it aloud, and everything. So yes, the developer benefits in general are that you can deploy the same code on top of which is right now functioning on top of Solana on Sonic, and it will work. No code modifications required, and we have much more better improved read write speeds. You get custom block space, and you already have composability with the existing Solana ecosystem. Now that is like majorly around how cool Sonic is. And now we can go around the hackathon. If there are any questions, I'll take a pause for a minute, and I'll address any questions if there are there. And if not, then we can go through the details of the hackathon. And yeah.
I see that currently we don't have any questions, but maybe just from a developer standpoint, if you have people solely developing on Solana, did I get it right that you only need to have like specific knowledge about Solana to be able to develop on Sonic? So basically, like every smart contract that might be developed on Solana works on Sonic natively.
Yeah, it does. All you would need to deploy it would be some testnet funds if you are deploying it on Sonic testnet, and just changing the RPC URL. All the developer libraries such as Anchor, Steel, Solana Web3.js, all these libraries work right out the bat. You don't have to change anything. We have Metaplex deployed on top of us. We have Pith price feeds and like every single thing which would be needed to like deploy DeFi applications, gaming applications on top of it. We have our own Rush ECS framework, which helps with converting games into smart contracts as well. So that if you're a game developer, you can just use Rush in order to create the blockchain parts of for your game. So that is something which comes in handy for if you are a game developer already. You don't need to learn blockchain. Basically, you have our tool does it for you. So
That's perfect. I see that we already have one question. Can we use Sonic outside gaming? For example, be used for bundling multiple transactions more than what G2 allows.
So Sonic, yes, you can use Sonic outside gaming. It's just that gaming is something of a sweet spot, and yes, there like in the hackathon there are multiple tracks. You can try bundling multiple transactions. There are like the limits of the transactions are kind of similar to how there are on SVM, which is like each and every transaction is can be broken down into multiple instructions, and you can batch these instructions to send one transaction, given that they are under the compute unit limits of a transaction and the size limit of the transaction. So yeah.
All right.
uh,
And maybe what we should mention is that the hackathon is like when you go on the official website of yours, this one, right? Then you see that the hackathon is already ongoing and finishes like roughly in a week, right? Is it
uh,
still possible for developers to start today and have a chance?
Yeah, like it's not 1 week. It's like 12 2 weeks around left. So it ends on March 17. So this is a particular $1 million hackathon right now going on as we speak. And yes, to be honest, if you're a developer who has an awesome idea around the tracks, you can build around it. And the way we are looking for the hackathon at the moment are like products which have a very specific niche, which are doubling down on solving one particular specific problem. So you don't have to create an application which has like 100 different features for like 20 different things. We don't need that. We understand those kind of applications are like not something which can be built in such a short time. So what we would love is like for a product which works end to end for solving one particular problem. And yes, that is a huge thing if you as a developer team can build on it and take it to the finish line, and then basically create a V1 and MVP for the product, and then keep on iterating around it. So yeah, if you would like to so I would recommend it that you can go to hackathon.sonic game, and uh, the it's a simple registration process. And we have like four different tracks. One is capital markets, which is uh, basically like tokenization of different things, tokenization of attention, tokenization of particular anything which is like, to be honest, generally related to attention. We have seen that a lot of products are now getting created around attention. Kaito is an example, time fun is an example. Time fun is basically like capturing a specific creator's attention. Kaito is somewhere where you keep on having yappers and understand how it matters. In a world of generative AI, I do consider attention as something which is very, very scarce, and tokenizing that is something which basically is an awesome opportunity, because like yeah, like that's something where crypto shines a lot, like tokenizing things and like understanding, basically calculating value of something like that. So that's something which is a very cool track right now. Other track includes DeFi, which can be an asset launchpad, a trading board, MEV, etc. And AI agents, AI aggregators, and everything around them. We specifically have a agent kit on top of Sonic called the Sonic Agent Kit, where you can connect any LLM you have, and it can do basic Sonic operations like launching an NFT collection, launching a token, and yes, like anything, like basically wallet operations, and even like uh, if you can connect any of your favorite LMs, can be GPT, can be DeepSeek, can be Claude. So yeah, I'll show you how to do it. It's one of my very cool things to do around. And then we have gaming as a particular track. Obviously we enjoy gaming in specifically, so yeah, can be mini games, social games, and any type of games which are at the end settling on top of uh, Sonic. And you can deploy your particular application on the Sonic testnet, or the mainnet, whichever is preferred. We would prefer for you to deploy it on the testnet first, and then once it is iterated and solid enough, you can go for the mainnet deployment as well. So yeah, there's fine teams and ideas. You can have developer resources, and yes, it's a cool price pool, $1 million on the line, and yes, there's the timeline is simple. Here's a register now button. It's a simple form you can fill up within a few minutes, and yes, it's like sponsored by all the big names on top of Solana, and you get to basically pitch around all these OGs of the Solana world.
That sounds great. Usually, the problem with developers is that they may not have specific ideas to hack on. Do you have like an idea board where people can
Yeah.
just take something?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. We have an idea board and a resources channel as well, and you can do that. So,
Great.
yeah.
Also, do you have some alpha for the viewers right now? Something that you think has an edge on on other developers to be successful in hackathon?
I would suggest build something which is a very specific niche. I would highly recommend for you to create a Twitter account for your project as well. Talk more about your project in the public. We we and we particularly like when people share their progress of the product in public, because that way you as a person understand if there is validation for your idea. A lot of times it happens in developers that an idea sounds cool in their head, but they don't build it because they think that it might not sound cool when they speak it out loud. So it's better to like just speak it out loud, get a feedback, and then refurbish the idea if needed, make it better, and so on and so forth. We would be specifically looking to like nurture all the solid projects which come out of this hackathon. So even if you don't win, we would still love to like continue helping you out with building, and like if the project is solid, if we think that the team can deliver, we would love to help out in all the ways possible, even after the hackathon. So that way, developers are in for the treat. If you can show us that you are hungry devs who want to build, we would love to like make the product next level by like connecting them to VCs, investing in itself, and yes, basically like helping growing them wherever their needs are. If their needs are tech support, if their needs are distribution, if their needs are can be anything, and we would be helping out with everything.
Great. I see that there are already people wanting to build on Sonic, but let's start with the workshop so people can, yeah, learn about the tech and get into it.
Sure, I'll just present. Okay, right. I can go through the docs as well. So let's try the docs first.
Again, the hackathon link, because I saw people asking for it. Here it is, hackathon.sonic.game.
Yeah.
That's the link.
Mike, can you bring the screen up as well? I'm presenting it. Yeah. Thanks. So everything you would need for starting to build on top of Sonic is right here in the documentation. There's a developer section in general. This is one of the pages where there is no BS, no nothing. All of the links you require, everything you want is here. The RPC URLs, we have a free gRPC as well. Testnet funds, faucets, bridges, you want the coding examples, we already have a repository which has the coding examples for every single basic operation, like fetching price feeds, doing wallet operations, and every single thing. Right here we have the Sonic agent kit. We have a bunch of libraries which also work on top of Solana as well. And yes, everything you would require is here. For a developer, this particular Sonic code example is something which we keep on updating on a daily basis. So that way, a lot of examples keep on getting added. And yes, it can be one of those repositories which can help you have a head start for the hackathon. This has a lot of code snippets which work right off the bat, so you can just have a copy paste of it, and yes, just use it. Like, these are all basic templates for anything you would need in your application, and you can just use it. So there are a bunch of other important developer documentations and libraries around here. There's one particular section here as well where we have specific Explorer, understanding that, Faucet, the wallet extensions. We have a bunch of wallets around here as well. And yeah, there are a lot of tools and smart contracts which are deployed on top of Sonic, which you can use. And yes, it's something. To be honest, like any Solana developer library which is there existing right now, which is your favorite library, would work on top of Sonic as well. You would only require to change the RPC URL to like point it towards Sonic testnet or Sonic mainnet. And yes, we also have an awesome Telegram group where we have around 500 plus developers who are right now building around it. And you can team up with multiple developers there in the Telegram group, so that way it's always fun to like have team where you have someone who covers your weaknesses. So if you're a back-end developer, you would like to team up with someone who is a front-end developer, and both of you can like team up and code up and like take it to the finish line. And who knows, like I have found my best friends in random Discord DMs, and you can find your co-founder around in such chats. So yeah, the website link here is docs.sonic.game, and it has all the things which are required for developers. If you would like to deep dive more into the Sonic architecture, you can be our guest and like have a look around here itself. If you have any questions around this right now, you can ask around. Else, I can get into the coding example. I'll wait for a few seconds. Cool. No questions. One, two, three, and sold. So yeah, let's go through the coding session. I'll create that. Cool. So now you can see my screen. So yeah, the particular Sonic coding examples repository which I was talking about is here, and right now we'll deploy a particular agent on top of Sonic. So you can just take the repository and clone it and run npm command, and you'll have it running. All you need is one API key for your favorite LLM, and it would work. So that's all. So there is this one particular index file under the agent kit folder where you can initialize the agent. Right now I would be using GPT-4o mini, and you can give it all type of different parameters. And yeah, let's try to deploy a token right now. NFA, it's not a financial advice, I'm just deploying a token for studying purposes. So yes, don't quote me on this, but yeah, we'll deploy a token right from our terminal, and I'll show you how cool it looks as well. So right now I just deployed it, and then what you can do is right now what is happening is this is a chat interface in your terminal where you can just talk to do things on top of Sonic. So hey there, and okay, well, okay, fine. There's a bunch of errors. Let's try again. Huh. Apparently I ran out of uh, let me try to get another API key. So it's not a technical showcase if nothing goes wrong, right? So let's try getting another API key. Give me a few minutes. If you have time, you can
Yeah, in the meantime, so
Yeah.
what you've be creating there is specifically for the AI agent track. Is that right?
Yeah, like right now what we'll be doing is just for the AI track. So yeah, I created another key and let's give it a try.
So for the developers in these sessions, as you can see, like you can do multiple things on Sonic SVM. Don't have to do AI agent, and also not only for gaming. Like Sonic SVM is mostly advertised for gaming because of their performances, but this hackathon specifically allows you to be creative, get some interesting thing going on, and yeah, can create really anything.
Yep. Uh,
Also, don't be shy to ask any questions all the time. Like it cannot be a too dumb question to ask.
yeah. Let's try doing some questions. Give me like a couple of minutes, and this should be up and running. Yeah.
All right. As of right now, we don't have any questions, but maybe regarding to the testnet deployment, you said that deploying on testnet is the only requirement for this hackathon. What would it mean to deploy on mainnet? You would have to create this grids, right?
You'll have to create one. Can you repeat your question?
Yeah, you mentioned at the beginning those grids
Yeah.
for the Sonic mainnet, right? Um,
Yeah. So
it
you
looks
don't have you don't have to deploy your own grid. It's fine. What you can do is so Sonic SVM itself is a grid, and you can deploy your smart contract on that. It's fine. You don't have to deploy your own chain. You just need to like if you need a particular smart contract for your application, you can deploy that. I would suggest like deploying first it on testnet, make sure everything is correct. Smart contract deployments are I consider that smart contracts are not really software, they are hardware, so that you because like you can't really like do a lot of things once they are deployed. But even though Solana has upgradable programs, it's better to like be short, have something audited, and then only deploy on top of mainnet. So that way you do not really like have a bad experience on the mainnet. So that's why we have the testnet, right, for all the fun stuff. So yeah, that's why you can use the testnet as much as you want, and yeah. Cool. So yeah, I would suggest deploying on top of the testnet first, and then once you're ready, once you think it's audited enough and everything, then mainnet deployment would be awesome.
perfect. And people already have more than 2 weeks left, so plenty of
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, plenty of time. Like to be honest, there are so many applications and coding tools around coding today. Cursor, Cloud, so Warp.dev, V0.dev, and so many cool stuff. Which, to be honest, will help you deploy a website in like a few hours and should not be even like a problem. The bigger problem is to think of an idea and to like just narrow it down to specific few features and deploy it. Coding, to be honest, is kind of like a problem of the past. Like unless and until you have a very custom smart contract with very custom stuff, I don't think so you should be running into any problems. Like given the time frame is like just 2 weeks, you can use all these AI tools in order to like speed up your development process. So yeah, the code is now running. I just ran out of credits on OpenAI, so I just had to fill it up, and yeah, it's done now. So we can go through the code first. So this is a simple LLM where we are just creating an instance of the OpenAI chat, and then we are initializing the Sonic Agent Kit. So basically, you have to give a wallet address, a wallet basically to your agent kit. What will happen is this way he can use that wallet for doing the on-chain interactions. on-chain interactions can be anything from sending SOL to like fetching balance to like all the basic wallet operations, even deploying a token, deploying a NFT collection, everything. And yes, everything else is a particular function in order to create the modes and making the CLI simple. And at the end, it's just calling all of it. So yeah, it's pretty simple code to be honest. Let's get it run. And yeah, let's have the chat interface, and we'll say hey there. And yeah, so yeah, now we're getting the response. So can you fetch the balance of the wallet? Yeah, let's try that. Can you see this by the way? Is it readable? I'll try increasing the size. You can close this. So yeah, we have 0.9 for Sol, and yeah, let's try to deploy a coin. Yeah, can you launch a coin for me, please? So yeah, what it will do is it will ask for a bunch of things. Can be name, URI, symbol, decimal. So yeah, let's name the coin something like let's name the coin test token. Let's let the URI be sonic.game because why not? And for the symbol, use TT. So that test token should be enough. Yeah. So this is like me charting right now instead of like doing any specific commands, because like that's how simple it is for everything. Again, okay. So use this as an URI. Cool. Now I guess it is trying, and the token is deployed successfully as well. As simple as that. So now we can check this on chain as well. If you'll go on explorer.sonic.game, and let's check it on testnet vmin. And yes, it's the test token. It was deployed a few seconds ago. And to be honest, that's all it took. It took a few prompts and doing it on like these are all functions. So like the entire agent kit, it has a function specifically for launching a coin, for launching collections. And yes, like right now what you just need is like an idea around where you would be like solving that particular thing. So this way you can do a lot of things because a lot of toolings are developed right now. So it hardly took me like less than 2 minutes to deploy a coin just while talking to my own terminal. And that is just like for this interface, because we use a chat interface on GUI. What you can do is you can take the agent kit and take the exact specific function, which is like a one line of code for like deploying a coin. All you would need is like the parameters, which would be like the name, the decimal units, the URI, and so on and so forth. And yes, like to be honest, that's all it takes. So we can even deploy an NFT collection. So let's deploy an NFT collection next. And then it will keep on asking regarding the name, URI, and royalty. So the name would be
Maybe
Sonic.
before going on with the NFTs, we have a question regarding tokens from Maximiliano. So is this a Solana SLP 2022 token? What is the difference or advantage of doing it in Sonic versus using Solana SPL library?
Yeah. So basically, Solana SPL library has a bunch of smart programs. It has the token standard, it has the token 2022 standard, and we have all those smart contracts deployed on top of Sonic as well. So although all the programs from the SPL library are available on Sonic as well. As again, like deploying on top of Sonic and deploying on top of Solana, you get a much bigger custom space for your particular thing. You can it has a better indexer, it has a better read layer, and yeah, like all the developer toolings which are there on Solana are already like compatible with Sonic. So this way, what you can do is you do not really need to learn anything new if you already know Solana developer experience. Yeah, you already if you already chew the glass, then as we say. So to be honest, you don't really need to do anything new. What you and because Sonic is much more of a growing ecosystem, you can have the first movers advantage to like deploy new applications built on top of it. And yeah, we specifically have a huge appreciation and a lot of facilities for all the solid applications which come out of this hackathon. So as I said earlier, if you're a hungry dev, you are in for a treat. If you can build stuff, if you already know Solana DevX, you do not really need to learn anything new for Sonic. You just need to make your DevX would be much more easier with Sonic, to be honest, because of the read layers, the gRPC, and you can have so many different um, user experiences on Sonic compared to Solana. Like with the gRPC, you can have real time monitoring on top of your assets. gRPC on Solana would cost you $500 per month, and on Sonic it's just free. So yeah, you just need to just write the code for it, like how to use it, and you can take the gRPC URL from the documentation, and it would work. And on Sonic you have much more faster reads that basically allows you to have a much faster UX than Solana itself. So those are the type of plus points you get by deploying on top of Sonic instead of Solana. So yeah, and we specifically are looking for onboarding new developers as well as someone who is looking to deploy around it. And yes, the hackathon is a great way for us to incentivize the developers, and uh, it's as I said, it's a growing ecosystem, and we would love to onboard as many developers as we can. Does that answer the question? Yeah. So let's deploy the uh, NFT collection as well. I'll take the same URI. So we have Metaplex core inside it as well, deployed around it. So what it is doing is it is using the Metaplex infra in order to deploy the NFTs on top of Sonic as well. So Metaplex has a bunch of programs like Bubblegum, like the Core, and so on and so forth, which are deployed on top of Sonic as well. So you can have compressed NFTs on us. You can have the Core NFT standard, and yeah, even this got deployed. So let's check it out here, and yeah, it's here. This is that one particular program ID as well, and yeah, that's as simple as it can become. So what we have done is we have tried to make the DevX much simpler, faster, better, and we'll keep on pushing it to have much more features. And you as a developer can take all of it, put up a crazy idea, showcase that you are a hungry, foolish dev who would love to build the next application, who would like love to have those specific ideas which allow you to capture the attention capital markets, where you can use the AI agents in order to like build something cool, or just gaming in general or DeFi in general. If you're any kind of developer, you can, to be honest, build on top of it. There is this narrative that for deploying on top of SVMs, you need to learn Rust, and I'm a hard believer saying that it's not true. If you know TypeScript, it's more than enough for you to do some basic stuff. You can have wallets, you can batch transactions, a lot of things can be done, unless and until you need very custom implementation of a smart contract. That's the only time where you would actually need to learn Rust. A lot of things can be done on TypeScript, and yeah, you can build on top of the programs which are already deployed. We have composability on top of SVM, which is one of the biggest things on top of SVM, because like you don't really have such awesome composability in any other ecosystem. That's the reason you can like reuse the same code and like creator applications. A much more time should be spent on like focusing on the idea and like understanding how to present it. Building any idea shouldn't take much longer with these kind of developer tools and this kind of developer experience. So yeah, I guess that's all I had to present. If you guys have any question Q&A, I would love to take them. And yeah, that's all.
Well, first of all, thank you very much, Harsh, for this presentation and hands-on development. It's really looked very simple from a developer experience to deploy a coin.
Yeah.
So maybe that's something for you guys. And yeah, we are open for some questions, maybe to also get up the links. We have this hackathon banner, which I will show up right now. This is the link to look through the hackathon, everything around it. And if you want to get into the documentation, then this would be the link to go, docs.sonic.game. And of course, if you have general questions, do you have maybe a harsher link for developers to join the group that I can share with everyone?
Yeah, sure. Just a second. I'll give it the link. Yeah. Um,
And in the meantime, regarding questions, you can always text me as well from the Solana Germany. This is my ad on Telegram and also on Twitter, so feel free to contact me there. And okay, I got the link. It will be hard for people to join directly from
yeah,
this.
I guess you can send it. You can send it to the YouTube comments. So
Exactly. I will try to send it like this through here. Oh, and I see we already have more questions from Bloody Berlin, GM. So totally get the dev focus. Still, do let me ask, are there any creator focused tracks in the hackathon by any chance? Or any other current opportunities for creators within the Sonic ecosystem? Very interesting question. So not only to tackle developers, but also creators.
yeah, I would suggest joining the the Telegram group there, and you can try asking this question to me there, so that we can like talk around there regarding the creators. At the moment, like for this particular hackathon, it's obviously around developers and new products which are getting built. But yes, we do want more creators on top of Sonic, and it can be something done outside of it. So yeah, let's chat about it now. Feel free to join the Telegram group and try to ping me. I'm hyperactive there. So yeah, I'll be able to help you out there.
And during hackathons, developers always need some creators, right? So it's a
Yeah,
good
obviously.
combination. If you are a creator yourself, feel free to look for team members to join. And like always, a good roundup hackathon does not only need developers. Well, it shouldn't be only developers. So yeah, feel free to
Yeah.
find some.
In the Telegram group, there are a lot of visual designers, a lot of editors, and so on and so forth, who are helping out the developers to like make the presentation better. And to be honest, like developers really don't know how to talk to like humans. They can talk very frankly with computers, but yeah, when it comes to like presentations and stuff like that, that's something where the creators shine better than the developers. So yeah.
Great point. We have another question from Maximiliano. Is there a Sonic SDK to use in TypeScript or JavaScript?
So what you can do is you can use the Solana Web3.js today, which is there, the 1.98 version or the 2.0 version, and both the TypeScript SDKs would be compatible with Sonic as well. all you have to do is whenever you are doing a connection to the network, you would just require to include the testnet URL or the mainnet URL of Sonic. And yeah, so that's the thing. Like all the Solana developer libraries can be used. We do not have specifically a Sonic SDK, but yeah, like you can use the Solana SDK, and like with a custom RPC URL, you can use that to build on Sonic.
Exactly. Everything that works on Solana works on Sonic. So we know you can develop with TypeScript, JavaScript on Solana. We also have some workshops regarding this on our YouTube channel. So feel free to check it out. It's Super Team Germany on YouTube. There are multiple workshops, and in the future we will also provide some on how to do that. So yeah, keep there, and hopefully find you in another workshop.
And that's awesome. That's awesome that you guys have like more thing. Like that's something which I consider is like a huge problem with SVM. We need as much of content from all the various different sources which we can have. So yeah, that's awesome that you guys have so many videos.
Exactly. And yeah, we don't have further questions. I would say we can wait a couple of minutes. But yeah, just for people who recently joined, because I saw that many of you joined just recently. As a reminder, this hackathon is still ongoing, so it's not too late to join. We provided the links in the chat, so feel free to check it out there. And yeah, I think that it's it from our side. We are also running shortly on time, so it was really nice having you, Harsh. Thank you for this introduction, and maybe in the future we will provide more of these easy to use workshops to not only onboard on Sonic but also on Solana in general.
Yeah, it was. Thanks for having me, and yeah, it was lovely for the audience. I enjoyed it. So yeah.
Thank you very much.
So see you.
See you on the next Dev Guild. Bye bye.